What's going on? And welcome back to Israel's Movie Reviews. And today we're going to be discussing Creed 3, which is, the start of Michael Jordan's career as a director. And boy, I have to give tip my caps to him because I think he did a phenomenal job. You know, uh, it was not a disappointment. I think the franchise needed, obviously, a new direction. Not that it was getting boring or getting tired, but we all love Rocky, man. But he's actually aging. So if you're gonna continue the story, why not continue the story the way they've been going with Creed 1, which was phenomenal. Creed 2 picked it up. And I think this one was a departure from the two films, and I think in a positive way. Even though, Rocky wasn't in this movie, I could feel his presence throughout. There were so many things he said over the years that come to mind, right? But the one thing above that, I think, if you're a true Rocky fan, like, obviously that line can't get out your head when he says to his son, the world ain't sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, right? But it will beat you to your knees and keep you permanently there, basically, until you let it. You and me, or nobody's going to hit you as hard as life. But it ain't how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward and keep it moving forward. I think that line always hits me. And I think that line plays pretty well with this film because, boy, does Adonis get hit in different directions, not just physically, but in his life. He's actually doing really good towards the beginning of the movie. You can tell he's retired at this point, and he's very successful. And what I love about the film is that this movie embodies that quote that I just mentioned from Rocky. Whether it's Adonis, whether it's his mother, whether it's his wife Bianca, Damian, the main antagonist to this new film, played by Johnathan, who does a phenomenal job, and we're going to get to him, or anyone else that showed up in this movie. Kudos to Wood Harris. He played a phenomenal, important role in this movie as well. I think he doesn't get enough flowers for the roles that he's done throughout his career. You know what I mean? He's a phenomenal actor, and, I give him flowers, because I think he's an exceptional actor, and he's been representing the culture for a very long time. And everyone that's fully experiencing the difficulties of life in this film, they fast forward to, years. Amara, Creed's daughter, obviously is deaf. There's a story. She has her story, which, not only she's being deaf, but she's being bullied but in school. You have Marianne dealing with not only the loss of her husband, obviously, but she's dealing with health issues that she's getting older. Bianca is having to watch, other people sing her songs because, she's beginning to really lose her hearing. And then on top of that, you have this character, Damian Anderson, who is actually a former childhood friend of Adonis. And, he has a lot that he's dealing with, being locked up 18 years for a crime that, I won't spoil a lot for you in this review because it's obviously a non-spoiler review, and I want you to go into this movie if you haven't already and go in there enjoying it because this movie really touches you. And this movie has a lot to do with abandonment, with, try to find your worth, resentment. And obviously I've dealt with abandonment in my lifetime. So I think that's one of the aspects where it hit me. It hit me pretty hard because I had a personal battle that I've never spoke to about anybody, wanting to be accepted. And obviously I can't imagine what Damien, that character, had to go through because, being 18 years in jail and being 18 years out here for me, being free, it's two different things. But Adonis is having to deal with all of that too once he comes back into his life. And on top of that, he has his own battles, with being honest and his own emotions. Oftentimes we bottle up stuff, often us in general, we often bottle stuff up inside for us in order to ensure the comfort of those around us. And I'm a victim of that. You know, it was never really about me. I always wanted to make people happy or make them laugh or put others way before me. And it's not until I got older and I realized, you know what? Sometimes you got to think about yourself. There's times you have to be selfish, and you know, eventually we can't contain everything that we're feeling. We got to let it out some way, and we got to have those barriers that need to be broken down. Although it's not easy, it's necessary. And in reality, no one's meant to live like that. And in this story, Creed 3, I think they do a great job of setting up the stakes, uh, not only cinematically, but visualizing the experiences Adonis had to go through as a kid. I love those aspects of the film, the effective use of flashbacks, and the brilliant acting of the younger kids in the film that play Michael B. Jordan's character and Johnathan Majors. And I think they were two amazing young actors. And then we have this brand new style that Michael B. Jordan uses as, you know, in his directorial debut, which I thought he was amazing. You can tell he got a lot from Ryan Coogler. He got a lot from the previous director who, Winkler or whatever, you know, his name is. You could tell he got a lot from the past directors in the past, and he did an exceptional job in this one. And some of the most realistic punches that we've seen on the big screen. You could tell he does this thing towards the end of the film where you could tell he's very heavily inspired by anime, which I thought was unique. I've never seen that in a movie. Well, there's times where it kind of took me out and then brought me back in. But that's, you know, to me, obviously a minor gripe because I've never seen it on screen. It doesn't mess up the movie or mess up a scene by any means. It's just something that you notice. And like I said, man, Michael B. Jordan, the moment that they share after the fight, obviously they do fight towards the end, and there's a moment that they share afterwards with Adonis, you know, doing basically one of the most difficult things a man can do nowadays, which is apologize, right? And Johnathan Majors, man, he took this role by the horns, man. This man is such a wonderful actor. He's one of those actors that come once in a lifetime, every 10 years or so. There's this actor that just shows up and just dominates. The last one was, may he rest in peace, was Chadwick Boseman. You know, he come out of left field with Jackie Robinson's story, 42. Then he came out with the James Brown biopic. Then he does the Black Panther. Then he goes and does a regular film called 21 Bridges. That was awesome. You know, and then he does the film prior to his death, Spike Lee joint, which was phenomenal as well. And, you know, we lost him young. And then we get this actor who just came out of left field with movies like Devotion, Lovecraft Country, a show that should have had multiple seasons and was canceled, obviously, for no reason. And him playing Kang the way he does, he's just a phenomenal actor, and I look forward to seeing much of him towards the future. I was hoping we could have seen an emotional breakdown from both characters to really show how important that moment was, not only to one or the other, but to both of them in general. But maybe that's what, you know, 18 years in prison will do to you. It'll numb you a little bit, right? And in his case, it numbed him a lot, but bothered him. You could tell he had this thing inside where he had to get out. And what I loved about his character was he plays both sides. You know, when he comes into the screen for the first time, you kind of know he has ulterior motives, but you don't know if he's going to carry it on, you know, until he does. And the way he plays from one note to the next, man, I did love it. I love how the story ended. It ended on a pretty positive note, and no one was really made out to be a villain. Johnathan Majors played such a role where you kind of feel for him. You kind of felt like when Michael Jordan played Killmonger, you looked at him, he was the villain, but you kind of felt for him and you kind of understood his motive. And Johnathan Majors' character in this movie does the same thing. You kind of feel for him. And everyone has reasons for doing things that they do. And it usually out of love and care for those around them, whether it's good, whether it's bad. But this movie definitely goes through different emotions. You're going to be on a roller coaster ride throughout this whole film. And just a great film in general. And before I even end my review, shout out Stephen A. Smith, who has a cameo in this film, and he does an incredible job as well. I was wondering where he was, in the previous Rocky films and Creed films. We get Max Kellerman in the past and stuff like that, but it was good to see Stephen A. Smith in here, being pretty much a quintessential part of Philadelphia, especially him working for the paper, interviewing Allen Iverson for 10 plus years, pretty much represented Philadelphia his entire career. So it was good to see that they showed him love in this atmosphere. Love to see that they included him, and they also captured his entertaining personality, which you need, on the big screen. I hope he gets more roles in the future. Wish they would have still had Max Kellerman commentating the fight, though, in this film. They didn't. Spoiler alert. But, wish he could be added on the list in the future for maybe even a quick appearance if Rocky comes back in the next film. And this film was truly inspiring for me to take a look at my own life and see the broken sides, but to know that everyone else is sometimes just as broken as I was, or still is at times. And it's all about getting off your knees, taking those punches, and moving forward, just like that line I was telling you earlier. And they did a lot of things in this film that I found towards the ending credits that surprised me, but impressed me at the same time. Michael B. Jordan, he's already one of my favorite characters, but once you watch this whole movie, and if you didn't realize that he actually directed the movie, you're going to be in awe. It's crazy. Tessa Thompson, I don't know, she's beautiful. She's amazing in the role. She really sells you on being deaf, on being a great mother and a great partner. The chemistry between her and Michael B. Jordan is seamless. It's so great. You think they're a couple in real life. You can tell that she was perfect for the role. I'm happy that she plays his now wife in the film. And I thought that the chemistry between her and her daughter, shout out to that girl that plays Amara, and her relationship with her father, and her wanting to be a boxer also. And it leaves it open for maybe a possible spinoff in the future of Creed, and I thought that was amazing. And I'll just leave it like that. This is not your typical boxing movie. This is more of a drama, Johnathan Majors, man. I'm just, whatever he's in, I'm in. I often find myself comparing his work to Chadwick Boseman, to Denzel Washington, to the greats. I think if this man sticks around, he's going to definitely touch that ceiling. And this movie will blow your mind. Brilliant directorial debut. The cinematography, epic. The support cast, epic. The story addressed a few things that I didn't expect it to. But on a surface level, I'm sure that it was just a start, and hopefully it does continue from there. I like this film. It had that great emotional connection from beginning to end. Creed 1, Creed 2, Creed 3, these are just back-to-back sequels that, to me, were iconic. If you was to leave it like this, I would be satisfied. But there has to be more. Solid film. Very competent. And I look forward to you seeing it as well. I gave this movie 8.5 out of 10. And you should definitely see it. Let me know what you think. Hit me up on a comment. Hit me up on my Instagram at isrox_movie_reviews. And let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. Which movie did you like more? Creed 1, Creed 2, or this one? If you like this review, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. And I look forward to hearing you and seeing you guys on the next one. Deuces.